Welcome back to the shooting channel, and today we've got a slightly different gun. We've done some on here probably 3-4 years ago. One of these came up secondhand and I thought I would try and tell you a little bit about the Sabatti Deluxe side plate. Sabatti is an Italian manufacturer. They're not really brought into the UK anymore. Their rifles are brought into the UK, but the shotgun side of them is, because there's so many manufacturers for shotguns in this country, they've decided to back off the UK market. But I really feel that the Sabatti is actually one Italian shotgun, which I feel is actually really good. I've had the privilege of actually going to the factory in Italy, up in the Brescia Valley. And they are very similar to Bettensolli's. The factory's bigger. They do rifles and they do shotguns. They do side plate ones. They do competitive clay shooting ones. In Europe, the competitive clay shooting Sabattis are actually used on their competitions. They're just not a name that the UK market are used to. They've come in to the UK over the years, dribs and drabs, but nobody has really got behind them and really pushed them. And I do feel that they are something that a lot of people are missing. And this one is their 30-inch, their deluxe sporter, side plate, got some hand engraving on it. This is a sporter, so it's got a sporting rib, not got ventilated barrels, multi-chokes, comes with 5 chokes, recoil pad. They're built very much like a Beretta. If you look at the safety catches, they are almost identical to Beretta, and that is because Sabatti in Italy actually does work for Beretta. So they generally will have bits that are interchangeable on them. But they are actually, despite if you Google them, they, as the Sabatti family, they are a really big factory, and they do a lot of work for other companies. And I think people are actually missing a trick with Sabatti, because they're built really well. They're built like a Rizzini, they're built like a Caesar Guerini, they're built as good as them. They're almost on par, quality-wise, with a Beretta. And if you think about it, they would be, otherwise Beretta wouldn't ask them to make components for them. So it's well worth, if you ever get the chance of looking at Sabatti or buying a Sabatti, this one is secondhand. You can pick one of these up for about £600, £650. New, they're about £1,000, £1,200, £1,500. But they're just one thing that is really, really underrated. If anyone's ever owned a Sabatti, or anyone's thinking of Sabatti, please comment below. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear if you've seen one. Now I'm going to shoot one, and I'm going to just see what it's like. Just mounting the gun, the only thing, stock dimensions are very similar to a Beretta, so they're quite low in the comb. So if you've got sort of big fat cheekbones or short, you would fit them really well. Let's shoot it and let's find out. So thanks to Fiocchi, they've given us their 4 HVs to test. First time we've tested these. Let's see what they're like. Pull. 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 First thing I look at them is the triggers are actually really crisp. So for an inexpensive gun, the triggers are really good on them. Balance wise, they balance really well on the hinge pin, so you can't really fault that. The only thing I would say, they are low in the comb, so I would have to put a comb razor on there, but if you're a lot shorter than I am, it would fit you quite nicely. Recoil wise, there's barely any. These recoil pads are really good on there. So for an inexpensive gun, well worth having a look. Now I've shot it, I'm just going to ask Alex, as somebody that hasn't seen many guns, and just ask for his opinion. I really feel if you haven't got a great deal of money, have a look at the Sabatti. If you find a Sabatti, have a look at one. So first thing, Alex, have you ever heard of Sabatti? Have you seen a Sabatti first?
I've seen one and I've heard of the brand before, but I've never actually shot one. So
okay,
see what they're like. Oh. Oh.
Don't ram your head down so much.
Oh.
You took the bottom edge out of the orange one. You don't put your head down too much, you'll hit it.
Oh.
Up.
Oh.
You're underneath it.
Underneath the orange one?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
So Alex, what did you think of it?
Well, I shot it well. And yeah, it does feel nice. It's obviously too low for me.
So on that going away bird, you're actually underneath it. And this is why, with you, this is why you like a Browning, because it's that height in the comb. And all you've got to do is just not put your head on the gun as much, basically. But pick it. You can pick holes in it. But for my actual gun, for an inexpensive, reasonable gun, what do you think of it?
For a relatively cheap gun, it doesn't feel like a cheap gun. It actually feels relatively nice. As you said, the recoil is quite nice. There's not too much recoil at all. I mean, the cartridges help as well because they're great cartridges. Yeah. But
and what about the triggers?
It's definitely nice. And yeah, trigger feels fine. I'm not quite at the stage yet where I can identify all the differences between all the triggers, but I can't notice any problems with it. So.
But from a new shooter, is it something, and if you've got a budget, is it something you would look at?
Yeah, definitely.
If you are a new shooter, have a look at the Sabatti range. They're a great little gun for an inexpensive budget gun. £1,000, £1,500 for a new one, you can't go wrong with them. And they've got some nice engraving. The actual wood is really nice as well. That is your Sabatti Deluxe Sporter side plate. I hope you've enjoyed this programme. Please comment below on anything you've seen in this film. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. Please, please, please join the membership for as little as $2.99 a month. I hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll see you on the next one.